Notice of a public meeting of the City Commission of the City of Brownsville. Pursuant to Chapter 551, Title 5 of the Texas Government Code, the Texas Open Meetings Act, notice is hereby given that the City Commission of the City of Brownsville, Texas, in accordance with Article 5, Section 12 of the Charter of said city, will convene a regular meeting on Tuesday, April 21st, 2015, at 6 p.m. in the Commission chambers on the second floor of the Brownsville City Hall, Old Federal Building located at 1001 East Elizabeth Street, Brownsville, Cameron County, Texas. Regular meeting 6. Pledge of Allegiance, Mayor.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Brad?
Please remain standing for the invocation. Doing the opening prayer tonight is Pastor Pedro Medina of Iglesia Restauración y Poder at Coffeeport in Robindale.
Thank you, City Commissioners and Mayor, for this opportunity. The Bible says, I urge then, first of all, that petitions, prayers, intercession, and thanksgiving be made for all people, for kings and all those in authority, that we may live peaceful and quiet lives in all goodliness and holiness. Please bow your heads and pray. Dear God, we ask you in this evening for this meeting, City Commission's meeting, and all the agenda that is going on, and we pray for your guidance, for your wisdom to take all the decisions in this meeting and for all the benefit of the community. We pray also for the coming elections in May, that you are the one that have the last word to who is going to run this city. Thank you, God, for this opportunity. In Jesus' pray, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor.
Mayor's activity update.
Yeah, let me just, if I could, mention a few things, and I think probably the first thing that's in order, and this one I'm going to include every member of the City Commission, and that is our great congratulations to the Rivetta soccer team for their state championship, and I think a good round of applause. I think I appreciated School Board member Joe Rodriguez and former athletic director talking about the discipline that the coach had imposed upon these young men and how they kept trying and they kept trying and they finally succeeded. So I think that gives us a lot of things to think about in our own lives. The second thing, again, is I think I can speak for the entire commission, and that is I want to give my congratulations to Pete and to Lupe and to the entire financial group. We were notified as of Friday of last week that in the Standard & Poor bond rating, we got a AA bond rating, which is the highest in the history of the city of Brownsville. So I think a round of applause goes to them. The other three, and again, I think the a thing that we should be mentioning is that tomorrow we have a brand new Walmart opening up, and there's going to be a grand opening at 7:30 in the morning. So I know that they had asked me to invite each and every one of y'all to the grand opening, and that's occurring tomorrow at 7:30 on, is it on Ruben Torres? Is that correct? Yes. Yeah, okay. The other thing, and I was talking to Commissioner Rose, is that there is a young man that I got advised today. His name is Kevin Berlanga, who is the valedictorian at Porter High School. And the reason I got advised was he was a former student at the Guadalupe Middle School, which is, of course, everybody knows here, is one of my favorite projects. But he got the Gates Millennium Scholarship today. And what makes it even more exciting is today was his birthday. So I think a round of applause for Kevin goes in order. And I happened to congratulate him this afternoon and talk to him for a little bit, and I asked him where he was going, and apparently he has accepted going to Fordham University, a Jesuit university there in New York, which makes my heart a little happier, and is going to the program so he can become a lawyer. The salutatorian, who is Jesus Roberto Franco at Porter as well, he's also a Guadalupe graduate, and he's going to UTRGV, and is going to that program where he can become a doctor within 6 years. So congratulations to him as well. And last but not least, I do want to note that a good friend of mine and a good friend of most of you all, Antonio Briceño, is giving his last concert. Most of you know who've listened to mariachis, and he's helped a lot of great kids, and they've gone on to do some great work with the music. He will be having a concert tonight starting at 7:30, so keep that in mind if we can get out there and congratulate him. And I know he wants to go to San Antonio, but I had always wanted him to stay here, and maybe the Academy of Performing Arts may be a good place for him. So anyway, that's the entirety of my mayor's activity report.
Item 2, Commissioners' activity
sorry.
update.
Commissioner's activity, that's where he's going next. Okay, why don't we start, Jessica?
Okay. I wanted to echo your sentiment for the Rivera Raiders. They are District 2, and we're very proud of them. Okay, my next report is, our staff has let me know that we are in competition for the Kaboom Playground, and we are meeting on May the 2nd at Central Avenue Park. It's on the corner of Central and Boca Chica. And so basically what's going on is all of the districts are now competing for the best idea, best plan. There is an anonymous donor who is donating a several $100,000 playground set to the city of Brownsville. And so now the 4 districts are in competition, and we really, really, really want this playground to land in District 2. So if everybody can come out on May the 2nd at 10 a.m. To Central Avenue Park, to help us plan and design a new little park there. We'd be very, very grateful if any of you students want to help out. We'd really appreciate it. So hopefully we'll see you there May the 2nd at 10 a.m. Thank you.
Commissioner?
Okay, I just wanted to announce that I attended the Brownsville Museum of Fine Art International Art Show last week, and I presented Marcelina Gonzalez with the Mayoral Award on behalf of the mayor. And it was very well attended. There's a lot of local talent, which oftentimes isn't showcased enough. So if you're ever around that area, I suggest you go by and see the different recipients of these awards, and a lot of the art is for sale. There's always an opportunity to support your local artists. Also, San Marcelo, the sanitary sewer line and manholes are being developed right now, so that progress is coming along nicely. Navarra Street, the contractor's making final adjustments to the sanitary sewer line and working on placing limestone base. And lastly, I wanted to thank the Public Works and Engineering departments for addressing several issues over the weekend. I know it's Saturday and Sunday, and they addressed them very quickly. So thank you for being open to that.
Thank you, Commissioner.
First, I'd like to thank the City Health Department and the School of Public Health for completing yet another season of The Biggest Loser a couple of weeks ago. The results are outstanding, and I don't have them yet, all of them, to give to you, but I will give that in the next meeting coming up. I'd like to thank Commissioner Villarreal for attending in my place to the grand finale at Linear Park a couple weeks ago. I was actually in Austin, having been asked together with Dr. Reiniger and Sister Phyllis to tell the Brownsville story on the UT campus at the business school of all places. So thank you, John, for taking time out of your Saturday. Secondly, next week is a very exciting week here in Brownsville for those of us that work on vibrancy and multimodal transportation. The League of American Bicyclists is the organization in the nation that designates cities with either bronze, gold, silver, platinum bicycle-friendly designations. This translates into endorsing that community is safe, and in favor of multimodal transportation, and translates into many, many hundreds of thousands, if not more, dollars of bicycle tourists that then come to that city. The League has designated that this year they will identify 100 cities to go out and help them to achieve status, and they've identified those communities that they feel are promising and that have done a great deal of work already. Brownsville was designated as one of those 100 cities, and on the 28th, Steve Clark from the League of American Bicyclists will be here. We will be touring him around Brownsville on bicycle. And there'll be 16 of us, people from the city, people from the School of Public Health, people from the school district, people from the Representative Vela's office. We'll take a bike ride with him across the city to show him our good and bad areas and areas that we need work on and areas that shine. So keep a positive thought for the 28th. If you see a group of us riding through the city, wave and honk in a friendly way. Thank you.
Just to echo the Kaboom Community Challenge, I want to invite the residents of District 1, Garfield Park, Hayes, Grant, all of that, Roosevelt, all that area, once again to join us Saturday, May the 2nd at 10 a.m. at Garfield Park so that we can take advantage and hopefully bring some new equipment to a much-needed park. And I also want to remind the residents that early voting starts on Monday. We do have 5 sites available, and they are on the website. They are available just about everywhere in the propaganda, but they are at the Southmost Library, at the main library, at the courthouse, at the Salon at UTB, and I believe I'm missing
the Brownsville
Community Health Center on Price Road. We're going to have early voting from May the 27th from April 27th to May the 5th, and then Election Day is on May the 9th. The University of Texas is having its graduation ceremony that morning. Catholic churches are having First Communions. It's Mother's Day weekend. People that have their moms out of town are probably going to be leaving out of town. So I would urge all citizens to take advantage and do early voting if some of this conflicts within your schedule. The decisions that we make up here are because you allow us to. And if you don't vote, you don't have a voice. So I urge you to please take advantage of early voting. Please go out on Election Day. Our numbers are always low. We would like to see higher numbers. So I encourage everybody to please take advantage, remind everybody to please go out and take advantage of early voting and Election Day on May the 9th. I have a couple of reports on streets and drainage, but I'm going to save that for the next meeting so I can give a detailed report. Thank you.
John. Thank you.
Mayor, if I may, I just, to tag along that invitation for Build It with Kaboom, the Parks event, we were informed of the District 1 and District 2 parks. If you live in District 3 or 4, please visit Prax Orive Junior Park off Palm Boulevard, or further west, Montebella Park. If you want to participate, this is on May 2nd at 10 a.m. Your participation is very much appreciated. And also with the Biggest Loser event, I've always said our staff is second to none. They're excellent. I get to work with them closely, so I appreciate all the hard work they do. And I was out there this Saturday, and I learned that Art was up the valley picking up the medals for the event at 2 or 3 in the morning. So everyone worked hard, and it was a huge success because of employees and volunteers like Art. So
Thank you, John, and many thanks to all of you guys. I was out there myself for a little bit, and it was a great event. Proclamations, number 3.
Mr. Gene Navagrosky.
Right up here,
In the
Gene. Get close.
So
You can ride your bicycle up here if you'd like.
this is an interesting, how this proclamation came about is pretty interesting, because I was watching TV late one night with my parents, and on one of the late night shows, I forget it was Conan or who, in their opening monologue, they were talking about a man an older man, that rode his bike over 300 miles to stand up for women's health care rights. And there was a funny joke that was made, but my dad turned around and he said, you know, that man is from here. You know, they're talking about a man from Brownsville, right? And I said, no, really? And so I immediately Googled it, and up comes Gene Novogrodsky, who I have known since I was a little girl and I was at Incarnate Word. Back then, we knew him as Mr. Novo, the crazy teacher that was always yelling about something and standing up for something and urging us to speak our minds and to stand up for what we believe in. And he'd always ride around his bike, and we'd always think, God, that's so weird. He rides around his bike. Doesn't he have a car? And lo and behold, this same man, 76 years of age now, hasn't changed a bit and is still teaching us the hard-earned lessons of life that you know, we should stand up for what we believe in, and he has made a world of difference. So I'm going to read this now. A proclamation of the City Commission of Brownsville, Texas, recognizing and commending Eugene Gene Novogrodsky on his dedication and service to the community. Whereas Eugene Gene Novogrodsky, a native of Vermont, has been a Brownsville, Texas resident since July 1988, and whereas Eugene Gene Novogrodsky chose Brownsville, Texas to be able to garden and bicycle year-round, in addition to its proximity to Mexico, and for the opportunity to practice Spanish. And whereas Eugene Gene Novogrodsky has taught developmental writing and English as a second language classes at the University of Texas at Brownsville since his arrival in Brownsville 27 years ago. And whereas Eugene Gene Novogrodsky has made a commitment to his community by supporting numerous nonprofits and issues such as bicycle and pedestrian pathways, birding, and the Brownsville Farmers Market. And whereas Eugene Gene Novogrodsky's commitment to his community compelled him at age 76 to embark on a 300-mile bike ride from Brownsville to San Antonio, Texas, to raise money for Rio Grande Valley women's reproductive rights. And whereas Eugene Gene Novogrodsky successfully completed the ride and raised $16,600 in donations for the Harlingen and Brownsville Planned Parenthood clinics to provide health care for low-income women. Now, therefore, we, the members of the City Commission of the City of Brownsville, Texas, by virtue of the authority vested by the charter of said city, and on behalf of all our citizens, do hereby recognize and honor Eugene Gene Novogrodsky for his commitment to advocate for affordable health care on behalf of local women and for other social issues of importance to the community. Done on this, the 21st day of April, 2015, Honorable Mayor Antonio Martinez and City Commission.
The bike ride was hard, but it's not as difficult as what low-income women experience in terms of health care, especially in South Texas. And I hope that it doesn't have to be done in the future, and that the question of health care for all in Texas becomes something that our legislature has the wisdom to see as important. Right now it hasn't, but maybe it'll change. Thank you.
Proclamation Child Abuse Prevention Month.
That's me. Is there someone here for that? The proclamation of the City Commission proclaiming April 2015 as Child Abuse Prevention Month in our city. Whereas child abuse is a pervasive and complex national, state, and local issue, and resolving it depends upon the involvement and partnership of all members of the community, And whereas these young victims of abuse and neglect often have no voice in decisions made that affect their lives, and whereas child abuse and neglect are serious and growing problems across America and throughout the state of Texas, in 2014, 911 forensic interviews were conducted in Cameron County. Of those, 369 resided in the city of Brownsville. And whereas child abuse prevention is a community responsibility and finding solutions depends on involvement among all people, and whereas our community must make every effort to promote and support programs that benefit children and their families, and whereas child abuse prevention programs succeed because of partnerships among a variety of entities, including but not limited to schools, religious organizations, law enforcement agencies, child protective services, prosecution agencies, medical professionals, mental health professionals, children's advocacy centers, and other community-based nonprofit organizations. And whereas everyone in the community should become more aware of child abuse prevention and consider helping parents raise their children in safe, nurturing environments, as well as supporting local professionals dedicated to meet the needs of child abuse victims. And whereas breaking the cycle of abuse and neglect by protecting children is the morally right thing to do and represents a significant investment in the future of our community and further assists in ensuring the safety and well-being of all citizens, and especially the most vulnerable, who are children, should be a priority of our community. Now, therefore, we, the members of the City Commission of Brownsville, Texas, by virtue of the authority vested by charter of said city, do hereby proclaim April 2015 to be Child Abuse Prevention Month in our city. Further, we encourage Brownsville residents to protect children by reporting child abuse, as they are the most vulnerable of our community. Done on this 21st day of April 2015, signed Antonio Martinez, the Mayor, and the City Commission.
Thank you.
Proclamation, Substance Abuse Awareness Month.
You're reading this one?
Come on, this way, amen. There you go.
Hi, guys.
That's good enough right there. Stop right there. There we go.
A proclamation of the City Commission of Brownsville, Texas, declaring April 2015 as Substance Abuse Awareness Month in our city. Whereas the Palmer Drug Abuse Program began 30 years ago in Brownsville to serve individuals with alcohol and other substance abuse problems. And whereas the impact of substance abuse disorders is wide-ranging, directly affecting individuals, families, and the community throughout the United States. And whereas substance abuse contributes to a large percentage of arrests, and statistics in the Rio Grande Valley have increased. And whereas the Palmer Drug Abuse Program in Brownsville assisted 650 clients with substance abuse and chemical disorders during fiscal year 2013 through 14. And whereas the Palmer Drug Abuse Program coordinates with the Cameron County Juvenile Division, the Cameron County Community Supervision and Corrections Department, and Cameron County Parole Division, Cameron County Child Protective Services Division, and the Brownsville School District by providing the the education and substance abuse awareness clients need to facilitate coping skills when they are fully released to the community. And whereas in order for change to occur and prevent substance abuse in future generations, all citizens of Brownsville, Texas must take a firm stand to help end substance abuse to increase the safety and well-being of our families, community, and state. Now therefore, we, the members of the City Commission of the City of Brownsville, Texas, by virtue of the authority vested by the charter of said city, and on behalf of all our citizens, do hereby proclaim the month of April as Substance Abuse Awareness Month, and further urge all citizens to engage in efforts to prevent substance abuse. Done on this, the 21st day of April 2015. Signed, Antonio Martinez, Mayor, and the City Commission.
Congratulations. Keep up the good work, guys. Keep up the work. Congratulations. 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 Keep up the good work, guys. Keep up the good work. Keep up the good work. We need more kiddos like yours. Keep up the good work. Not a red here. Absolutely. Keep up the good work, kids. Keep up the good work. Thank you for everything that you do.
And I missed you guys. Okay, thank you.
Dear Commissioners, City Mayor, and members of the community of Brownsville, Palmer Drug Abuse Program thanks you for acknowledging 30 years of service to the community and for understanding the daily efforts it does to benefit the people that need help. For the last 5 years, Palmer Drug Abuse Program has been managed by our Executive Director, Ms. Julie Jaramillo, in an exemplary way. There is a group of dedicated volunteers that care for their peers and dedicate themselves to serve anybody that needs their services. The members of the Sociedad Honoraria Hispanica, a group of scholarly students, are also proud to be volunteers of PDAP at this time. We care for kids in school, we care for their future, the ways they learn how changes can be made for those who need change, and for the benefit of their own selves and for the benefit of their families. In Palmer Drug Abuse Program, we believe when we say help us to help others, and by taking care of our peers every day. We believe we are creating a greater community in the city by the sea. We believe we can have a community aware and free of drugs. We believe together we can accomplish great things in our future. We appreciate all you have done and hope to unite our efforts for the benefit of all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Proclamation Fair Housing Month.
Welcome. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and present this one as well. And on the same token of housing opportunities, I'd like to remind everyone that through the Development Council, which our mayor sits on, I think you're the vice president right now, right? And with the help of our city staff, we were able to rescue, actually completely tear down and build 17 new homes in Brownsville when originally we were just going to do 14. A lot of these homes were just damaged beyond repair through, I think, Hurricane Dolly. So thanks to the mayor and our staff, 17 families have new homes. I was reminded by this proclamation. Okay, here we go. A proclamation of the City Commission of Brownsville, Texas, proclaiming April 2015 as Fair Housing Month. Whereas April marks the anniversary of the passage of the Fair Housing Act in 1968, which sought to eliminate discrimination in housing opportunities and to affirmatively further housing choices for all Americans. And whereas the ongoing struggle for dignity and housing opportunity for all is not the exclusive province of the federal government. And whereas vigorous local efforts to combat discrimination can be as effective, if not more so, than federal efforts. And whereas illegal barriers to equal opportunity in housing, no matter how subtle, diminish the rights of all. And whereas equal opportunity for all, regardless of race, color, age, religion, sex, disability, familial status, national origin, marital or public assistance status, is a fundamental goal of our city. And whereas access to housing on an individual's choice is an important quality of life issue, because where we live determines where our children go to school and what cultural benefits we enjoy. And whereas the City of Brownsville continues to work to eliminate discrimination in housing and to provide citizens with the opportunity to live in a safe and affordable housing. Now therefore, we, the members of the City Commission of the City of Brownsville, Texas, by virtue of the authority vested by the Charter of said city, and on behalf of all our citizens, do hereby proclaim the month of April as Fair Housing Month, and further call upon the citizens of Brownsville to share in the goal of and responsibility of providing equal housing opportunities for all men and women, and to abide by the letter and the spirit of the Fair Housing Law. Done on this, the 21st day of April, 2015, signed Antonio Martinez, Mayor, and the City Commission.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and City Commission. The Office of Grant Management and Community Development is following HUD's lead in designating April as Fair Housing Month. Such designation intends to help the public recognize the various forms of housing discrimination, as well as commemorate the passage of the 1968 Fair Housing Act. Individuals who may think their rights have been violated or have any questions related to fair housing can contact the Fair Housing regional office in Fort Worth, Texas, and the number is 817-978-5900. Thank you.
Thank you.
Proclamation Preparathon Day.
Is anybody here receive the Preparathon?
That's a lot of proclamations.
I guess we'll save it for the next meeting.
Okay. Item number 4, consent agenda items, items number A through D.
Charlie, we weren't able to take that on. It's not on?
No.
Okay.
Would you approve?
All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries.
Public comment.
Number 6, please.
Mayor, we recommend item number 15 to be handled after 8.
Okay, go ahead.
So action item number 6, consideration and action on ordinance 2015-1599 to authorize the issuance, sale, and delivery of approximately $9.5 million in aggregate principal amount of the City of Brownsville Texas Combination Tax and Revenue Certificates of Obligation, Series 2015, securing the payment thereof by authorizing the levy of an annual ad valorem tax and a pledge of certain surplus revenues of the city's municipal landfill system, and approving and authorizing the execution of paying agent, registrar agreement, a purchase contract, an official statement, and all other instruments and procedures related thereto.
Honorable Mayor, members of the City Commission, tonight we're asking you to approve this ordinance so that we can begin issuing the certificates of obligation for this particular projects that are listed in the slide, for streets, for park buildings, that also includes the Gladys Border Zoo, acquire and equip 3 ambulances. There's a local share for the multi-level parking garage at the Brownsville Metro, bus for Brownsville Metro, various traffic signals, and then also the local share to remodel the Steckman building downtown for a total cost of $9,115,000. On this particular slide, if you see streets there, $3,114,440. I went ahead and included this slide that shows that because we had some funds that were not used for the shelters, those monies were released, and they'll be going towards streets. That's $3,956,885. So you total the previous amount plus this, you'll have over $7 million that will be dedicated for streets as soon as this particular obligation gets issued. This is the final pricing for tonight's authorization. The total of the interest rate for this particular issue is 3.3. If you look at column K, the change in the rate for debt service is almost at the same level as it was the previous year. And the reason why this is because we had a refunding that we did in December 2nd of 2014 that generated, if you look on column G at the very bottom, generated over $2 million in net future value savings, and that cost us not to increase the debt service rate by a very small amount. And this is what happened last December. We generated, because of those refunding, $2,069,873 in future value savings. Again, there was a total savings of 9.181% way back in December. I'll be speaking about the ratings. We had conference calls with the Standard & Poor's on April the 10th. It was a conference call. It included Finance Director Lupe Granado, the Assistant Finance Director Jorge Santillan. We also had the assistance of Lizzie Putnat, as well as Noe and Esther Young from Estrada Hinojosa. We prepared a PowerPoint presentation that included historical and the latest current financial and statistical information of the city. Also, BDC reported on the Brownsville projects as well as projects that are in the pipeline. Of course, Standard & Poor's was extremely pleased with the information that was presented. Then on that same day, we had a call, what we call a due diligence call with Lloyd Locke LLP. They are the underwriters, bond counsel. We had several people participating in that conference call. A series of 42 questions were asked from Locke Lord, and all the questions to their answers were answered to their satisfaction. Then on Tuesday, April 14th, we conducted a telephone conference call with Moody's. Again, we presented the PowerPoint. Again, Moody's Investors was pleased with the information that was presented. Something about a little thinking about the Standard & Poor's rating. They did raise the rating by 1 grade to a AA, from a AA minus. And by the way, today we made national news on the bond buyer, and the headlines says, Brownsville scores AA. So that was good for us because obviously the higher the rating, the lower the interest rates that the city it gets charged. On the long run, obviously, it's going to help. It's my understanding that with this particular issue that we are doing tonight, because of the rating upgrade, we will probably be saving on the 20-year term between $30,000 to $50,000 because of that change of a rating. Of course, there were reasons for this. It was caused by a decrease in the city's unemployment rate, and of course, we have maintained a strong management and finances. Some of the highlights, according to S&P, we remain one of the state's most important ports of entry. They say the city benefits from its close proximity to Matamoros. Also, they give credit to the University of Texas at Brownsville, which will be merging with UT Pan American to create the University of Rio Grande Valley. The city's property tax base has experienced moderate growth. They also cited very strong budget flexibility. City management we do not anticipate to spend down the fund balance during the coming year. Also, what they indicated was a strong budgetary performance. The city's management team will continue to present balanced operating budgets. On the liquidity side, the city's management team suggests that liquidity will remain very strong. S&P believes that Brownsville has a strong access to external liquidity because it has issued GO and revenue debt several times over the past 20 years. And again, they also cite strong management. They view Brownsville's management condition as strong, supported by good financial management practices. Management usually provides historical data to create budgetary assumptions and provide quarterly financial investment reports to the City Commission. To continue, we have adequate debt and contingent liability profile. What is the outlook for the city? They rated us a stable outlook, which again they cite strong budgetary flexibility, strong budget performance, and very strong liquidity. They say that they could raise, possibly the rating if certain conditions later on will strengthen the financial picture of the city. Of course, they would lower the city's if the finances and the debt profile were to weaken, or if the city's economic success were to weaken. Highlights of this particular article that appear in today's bond buyer, and the author is in New York. It says, just very briefly, with a population of over 180,000, Brownsville is part of a highly populated but largely impoverished network of cities in the lower Rio Grande Valley. Brownsville, the seat of government for Cameron County, has one of the highest poverty rates in the nation. They go on to say the city was chosen in 2014 as the site of SpaceX new rocket launching facility, and is expected an economic boost from expansion of the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley that will include a medical school in nearby Edinburgh. One area that they cited was a legislative measure that could hurt the region's economy is a bill that would deny in-state tuition to children of undocumented immigrants. I don't know if you kept up, but there's a lady from New Braunfels, legislator from New Braunfels, that has introduced this bill. Well, Standard & Poor's obviously says that UTB Rio Grande Valley will have the most undocumented students of any school in the country next fall, and that's according to they cite a Brownsville Herald article. Moody's kept us at the same rate at AA3. They also more or less show the same type of information that was presented by Standard & Poor's. Again, they cite strong management practices, conservative budgeting. Of course, they also say continued growth and diversification of the city's tax base. Again, they also indicate that we have maintained at least a reserve policy of 15% of annual expenditures. They also say continued growth and diversification, and so on and so on. Moody's investor, what could make the rating go down? This is what Moody's says: poor financial performance, a significant contraction of tax base, and significant increase in the debt profile. What are the strengths? A large and stable tax base that continues to grow and diversify. Historically stable financial performance and reserve levels, strong management practices, and an annual growth on sales tax and toll bridge revenue collections. The challenges: weak social economic profile and slight above debt profile with plans to borrow more money in the future. One of the areas that the city has had, we've had some awards. The GFOA has awarded the city Brownsville a certificate of achievement for excellence in financial reporting for the past 37 consecutive years. And of course, we also have been awarded the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award for several years. And these areas obviously play a big part when the rating agencies look at Brownsville. And these are the presentations, and these are the ratings. I recall way back in the 80s and possibly 90s, we were on the upper medium grade rating. At that time, we were actually buy insurance, because at that time the insurance companies were all rated AAA, and in order for us to get a good rate, we would buy insurance from the bond insurance companies. Well, it's because of the 2008 financial situation that occurred. Some of these insurance companies really went under, or their rating is now lower than the city's rating. So because of that, we have been able to save money on insurance, which was about $180,000 to $200,000 during the term of the loan. Because we are now classified as high quality, we have been able to avoid buying insurance, which again adds to the savings of the city. And right now we have a AA3 from Moody's and a AA from Standard & Poor's, and I would have never thought that we would ever reach that AA category, but we have, so we feel very happy about it. Again, we recommend that you approve the ordinance that has been presented to you tonight.
I just wanted to congratulate you and your staff members. That's a tremendous honor that you've brought to the city.
Yeah, the city of Brownsville is very fortunate to have a very strong finance department. We got some very high quality personnel, and most of them, like I say, all of them, were Brownsville people, students. They graduated from UTB. I'm the only one that was, because of the time we didn't have a senior college here, that I didn't graduate from the local school, but they're all very bright, and they're all hardworking. Thank you.
You have a tremendous staff.
Thank you, Pete. And you and I are the same age, so that doesn't tell a whole lot for us. Anyway, do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you very much, Pete.
Item 7, consideration and action on resolution number 2015-042 to support legislation providing the option to create the Cameron County Healthcare District.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. I have with me Randolph Willington. He's here as a subject expert, so if he'll join me up here just in case you have any questions. But the healthcare districts, also known as hospital districts, are authorized not only to operate a hospital, but to deliver any service to help people stay healthy physically, socially, and/or mentally. Because they're owned and governed by local citizens, hospital districts tailor their services to meet the unique needs of their individual communities. Cameron County aims to provide increased funding to cover indigent health care. I'm here this evening to request approval to submit a resolution of support for Cameron County Healthcare District. The bill, to be introduced by Senator Lucio and Representatives Lucio and Oliveira, does not create a hospital or a healthcare district. It only provides the opportunity for a local election to give the voters that choice to do so. If the voters of Cameron County approved the creation of a healthcare district under the current state law, the maximum tax rate could be as high as 75 cents per $100 valuation, and there would be no requirement that Cameron County lower its tax rate. This proposed resolution would protect Cameron County by placing a cap of 25 cents. The bill is being introduced now for two reasons. First, the district can use its funds to match federal Medicaid money in a manner that will increase the amount of federal and overall dollars available to pay for indigent medical care in Cameron County. Second, by contracting with the UT-RGV School of Medicine and its faculty doctors for indigent medical care, the healthcare district can ensure that Cameron County supporters and continue to have a significant share of the medical school and residency programs. Under the bill, the Board of Directors of the Healthcare District would include 9 members, 5 appointed by the Cameron County Commissioners Court, and 1 each appointed by the 4 cities with the greatest value of property taxable by the district. Harlingen, San Benito, South Padre Island, and Port Isabel have already passed their resolutions of support, and they will be traveling to Austin on Thursday to testify for this bill. So passing this resolution will guarantee Brownsville a voice on that board. The bill includes an absolute maximum tax rate of 25 cents per $100 valuation and would require Cameron County to lower its tax rate because it would no longer be spending money for indigent medical care. 8% of taxes go towards indigent health care currently. Based on current indigent health care spending and the ability to match and draw down additional federal Medicaid money, the tax rate of a Cameron County healthcare district would likely be in the range of 5 cents to no more than 7.5 cents per $100 valuation. In other words, no more than $50 to $75 per year on a $100,000 home. So in summary, this resolution would, or Cameron County Healthcare District, would save the county money and create greater opportunities to obtain federal funding that the county cannot currently access. It helps leverage impact of medical school, which will help sustain, develop, and grow more healthcare providers. So I'm here today to request your approval to submit our resolution of support.
Do I hear a motion?
So move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody
Thank you.
opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thanks.
Stephanie, is anyone from Brownsville traveling with the group on Thursday?
Yes, yes. Art Rodriguez, our health director, will be traveling up there on Thursday.
Item 8, consideration and action to adopt budget amendment resolution number 2015-043 to amend the general fund revenues and expenditures budget, to amend landfill tipping fee, increase fund expenditures budget, and to amend the budget for additional expenditures and revenues in capital projects funds, airport fund, and the public transit fund.
Honorable Mayor and City Commissioners, the following proposed budget amendments are presented for your review and consideration. What we're handing out is a replacement on page 5. There was some updates that were done to replace on page 5. I'll briefly go over the budget amendments line items. If you have any questions, go ahead and stop me and I'll answer as best I can. We go to the handout that was just presented to you. We're proposing the following budget amendments. First one on there is we're proposing to use the lawsuit settlement from the federal government on the border fence of $604,000 to fund some of these budget amendments. On the proposed budget amendment, we have a transfer to the transit fund to cover operating costs of $400,000. This is necessary to make sure that the fund stays in a positive or in the black. Next one is a match of $195,591 to cover local match on a library E-rate grant. The E-rate grant totals $1,887,662. Next one is $145,000 for the police department for some body cameras. Next one would be $80,000 to replace the AC system for City Hall. The replacement of this system has been since the mid-'80s and needs replacement. Next one is a interest expense on a pending lawsuit of $125,000. Next one would be for the purchase of approximately $100,000 in city vehicles. Vehicles are necessary for the operation of the departments. Next one would be $40,000 for pest control chemicals. Mainly has to do with mosquito control for the health department, $40,000. $50,000 for a 5-year HUD consolidated plan. This plan is required by all entities in the community and is required to be submitted on a 5-year plan. Next one is one part-time position requested by the planning department. This position is necessary in order to streamline department operations and to oversee department expanded efforts. The funding there of $20,345 is to fund the remaining of this year. The other one, $95,000, is a general contingencies. There's contingencies that pop up throughout the year that leads with legal services, so items like the ETG consulting services that require some funding. Next one would be the Parks Master, funding of the Park Master Plan. The Park Master Plan was approximately $95,000. BCIC contributed $50,000 towards this, to this master plan. The next few are going to be local shares on some of the grants. We have $27,752 on a local match of an $85,000 BCIC grant. Next one would be $10,000. Well, this is to fund the Miticulture District Plan. Next was $10,500. This is a local match on a $26,500 BCIC grant also, and it's to fund a bike barn project. Next one over is $8,500 for a local match on a $120,021 Texas A&M grant. And this is for a project, Montebella Park bathrooms and parking project. Next one would be a local match of $12,280 for a local match of $134,990 for a federal grant that will be used to purchase law enforcement equipment. Next one would be a $71,000 local match on a $248,608 federal highway administrator grant, and this would be used on a Galveston Paredes crossing project. Last one for the general fund is a $110,000 airport transfer, and this is to fund the airport room expansion that's attributed to the Near Airline, Allegiant Airline that will be coming in to the city. For the landfill fund, which would be page 4 on your handouts. There's actually page 3 on it. There's 2 projects on there. There's a potential land purchase that we're in negotiation. We're providing funding for it in case the purchase goes through of $135,000. And the last one would be a sediment erosion control project of $140,000. Both of these projects will be funded through the landfill fund. I recommend approval.
Okay. Do I hear a motion?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Lieutenant.
Thank you. As approved, item 15, consideration and action on resolution number 2015-044 to authorize city staff to continue discussions with the University of Texas Board of Regents regarding the planned location of the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley campus within the city of Brownsville, Texas, focusing on alternative locations from the Lincoln Park site.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the Commission. The last time the City Commission looked at this issue, it enacted a resolution directing city staff to conduct discussions with the University of Texas regarding specifically Lincoln Park. We've had some discussions and we've looked into alternates. We're aware that the Commission is concerned about balancing the interests of the educational needs of the community along with the need for green space. There have been some options that have come up, and what we would like is we'd like this resolution directing city staff to explore some alternatives to the Lincoln Park site so we can come back hopefully and come up with a proposal that would not involve the park in terms of property for the university. Doing this might enable us, if it was something that worked out, to spare the park and provide an alternate location. This isn't just a hypothetical. There have been some preliminary discussions with the university, and the university has expressed some preliminary interest. Obviously, it would have to be something that would be decided at the Board of Regents level, which would involve some further discussion and some further specificity. So we would ask for you to direct the city staff to do this.
Who have we talked to at the university that has said that?
I will interject. I have spoken with Stephanie and with Charlie Cavalier, with some of the members of the public. In turn, in order for us to pursue any options, I contacted the university president, and he's the one that's indicated there was some appetite, but they would be preliminary at this particular point. but I'm the one that called his office to have a conversation with him.
Okay.
And
Are you gonna brief us on it in an executive session? Are you gonna let us know what's going on? Because
I quite frankly, I'm not at liberty other than, would you be interested in thinking about something besides Lincoln Park or some sort of combination thereof?
What we would like to do is...
There was no specifics, to be honest with you, and that's why I'm saying I don't have anything more than, do you have an interest in doing this because of some of the concerns of the private citizens? That's all.
The last resolution limited city staff to bring back to the commission a proposal involving Lincoln Park. We simply want the freedom to be able to bring back an alternate proposal, which is what this would do. So anything that we would bring back would be presented to the commission, and the commission could then make an informed decision.
How is it possible for me to make a motion to change this resolution to say to withdraw Lincoln Park and look for another alternative site?
Well, I know right now, Commissioner, that there was money that was apportioned by the university specifically for the Lincoln Park location. With respect, I might suggest that we have the opportunity to explore an alternate option before withdrawing that from any consideration. Since there's been funding that has been authorized at least for that location, but not for any other location at this time.
I'd like to make a motion to, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, Rick.
we've caught heat for this. I understand her motion. I've restrained because of the political heat. She approached me a month ago. Let's bring it on. If it's going to get political, let's put it on the agenda. Let's kill it. Okay? We're willing to work. We're willing to work with you. But we're still uninformed. All right? I mean, we could have brought it back. We had the opportunity to. You know we would have been a 3-3. You know we would have locked it. And there it went. But it's not beneficial for the community. We want to work, but there has to be communication. This comes onto the agenda, we're blindsided. And I don't know what's going on. All I know is what Mark told me before the meeting. You know, we had political plans to kill it a month ago so that it would make us look like champs.
That was
during the no, I mean, call it a spade. Call it a spade. There's nothing left. You got to put it on the table. Don't hold back.
This was
okay? But we've held back. We held back on it. We held back on doing it. I don't want it to seem, you know, keep us in the loop. Keep me in the loop, because this is not I mean, it just comes up. There's been discussions. Now all of a sudden there's a vote. Hey, it looks great. It's going to look great. We're going to save Lincoln Park. All right? But call it what it is. You know, I don't know what's going on.
I don't believe we're going to save Lincoln Park. I think we're allowing ourselves to have discussions about it because, as you well know, we have been contacted by several groups, including the East Brownsville Little League. I mean, that was through, and it was through the staff, not myself. But we didn't know any way to figure out whether there was any appetite whatsoever in trying to look at this, even though I think that it's important in the resolution that we have the presence of a university, which is important for the community. But it's up to the commission.
You know, all this resolution does, it authorizes city staff to come back to you with some options. Okay, that's all it does. And I realize there's a difference in opinion among the members of the commission as to the issue of Lincoln Park. But I would ask that you adopt the resolution as is and give us the opportunity to come back to you with some options. And then you can decide in terms of what is the best option for the community at that point.
I would still like to make the motion to change the resolution to say completely withdraw Lincoln Park off the table, and we would absolutely be willing to look at any other property that's not a park that we have.
I would suspect that you're going to have to overturn your action that you did back in December in order to do that. I don't think this particular resolution addresses that, but that's
true.
Well,
you're going to have a direct action for that. And is there a motion for this particular item? If not,
I mean, her motion still stands, right?
Well, you have to vote on this. I mean, we don't, the other item of overturning something you don't have is not on the agenda for today.
Yeah, Commissioner, while you can make an amendment, that amendment would involve reversing a previous resolution, and that is not on the agenda.
I didn't vote for it.
But it's not on the agenda right now.
I know.
So, what's on the agenda right now is this resolution.
You know, and if we have no motion, it will just die for lack of a motion.
Either way, by making the motion to approve this current resolution, whatever is discussed, it would come back to us, right?
Sure.
Correct. All this resolution does is give city staff the ability to come back to the commission with some additional options that don't involve Lincoln Park.
What happens if this resolution dies, for lack of a
Well, then we're limited to talking about Lincoln Park. If this resolution dies, city staff cannot come back to you with some
other
options other than Lincoln Park. So I would think that
So
everybody
it
would.
ultimately, by not making the motion to approve this, it does the opposite of what you want to achieve.
Exactly.
Because then we can only talk about Lincoln Park.
That's right.
Well, I
The
understand
whole-
that. I would like for Lincoln Park to be taken off the table. Like me personally, I don't feel it ever should have been there. But that's where I come from, just so you understand.
But I think that's what we're trying to achieve.
Lincoln Park is on the table right now. What this resolution does, it gives city staff the ability to look at some other options that don't involve Lincoln Park, so we can come back to you, so you can have another option other than Lincoln Park.
When you say come back, some of us may not be here for the next time it's brought back.
We're trying, the resolution says as expeditiously as possible, Commissioner. We're trying to work very hard on this to bring it back to you in the most expeditious manner as possible.
Is there a motion or there's not a motion?
I share the same concerns. I don't want to, a few months from now, be given option A, B, or C. I want to be kept in the loop as well throughout the process, because our constituents do have questions and concerns, and throughout the process, we want to provide their input to your efforts. So, I mean, that's all I ask, and I have gotten that from you, Mark, and staff. So I just ask that that continues, please.
Yeah, I mean, I'm aware the Lincoln Park issue is, but please give city staff the ability to look for another option and bring it back to you so you can make an informed choice for the community. Whether it's for the park, against the park, that's not the issue. The issue is give us the ability to come back to you with a different option. That's all I'm asking for.
Do I hear a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the current resolution on the table in an attempt to provide the city with other options other than Lincoln Park.
We'll second that.
Do I hear a second?
Jessica, second.
I seconded that.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
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 City Secretary, please note my abstention.
Motion carries. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Be sure and keep us all informed.
Purchase bids and contracts. Item number 9, consideration and action to award a contract for duck pond improvements at Barnard Road.
Members of the commission, Mayor, as you know, the duck pond was presented to the commission some time back. We got the numbers as to the cost. Mr. Rubio, Mr. Chapa would like to discuss this item with you or quack about it to you, please.
Welcome, Mr. Rubio.
Hello, Mayor, Commission. Just like to let you know that the Beautification Committee's worked real hard to get this project to fruition. The funding's in place. We recommend approval of awarding the contract, and so we can get started as soon as possible and go listen to some mariachi music.
Would approve. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Joe, go
Thank
for
you.
it. Thank you.
Item 10, consideration and action to award a contract for the purchase, delivery, and installation of a modular building for the Brownsville South Padre Island International Airport.
Mayor, member of the commission, as you know, Larry Brown is ill and he's been out for a while now. We pray for his recovery and quick return. He is however, able to speak and work with us via his home until he gets some treatment. This item is relates to modular furniture. As you know, it was announced that Allegiant Airlines would be flying out of Brownsville next month. It is urgent for us to get some of these furnishings in as soon as possible. We went out on competitive bids and found that Williams Scotsman of Corpus Christi is a viable bidder. We recommend approval, and we have some people here that have been working with us. Sesha, you want to discuss?
Yes.
Or present?
Yes.
I didn't see him. I wasn't looking down.
Yeah. Thank you. Good evening, Commissioners and Mayor and Commissioner. I'm here representing Larry Brown today. As you all know, he's sick. Basically, what we're trying to do is we have a sterile area capacity of 100 passengers, and we have a sudden influx of about 161 passengers with Allegiant. So what we're trying to do is buy modules that are already built and assemble to the terminal, existing terminal, so we can accommodate the 161 passengers in addition to the 100 passengers waiting to board. So we have a total of 261 passengers waiting to board the plane. So we recommend your approval on this.
Very good. This is for going to Las Vegas, right?
Yes, sir.
Anyway, do I hear a motion?
Move to approve. Oh.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 11, consideration and action to award a contract for engineering, design, and survey services for Ringgold Street.
Honorable Commissioners, the purpose of this item is to award a contract for engineering services to start the design for the reconstruction of Ringgold Street from Palm Boulevard to 6th Street. I recommend the approval of this project.
I hear a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Item number 12.
Thank you.
Consideration and action to award a contract for architect services for the rehabilitation of the Mother Perpetual Help Home.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, City Commissioners. This is a request for consideration and action to award a contract for architect services for the rehab of the Mother of Perpetual Help Home. On June 2013, the city contracted with K Plus Architect for an initial survey of the Mother Perpetual Health Home. K Plus Architects was on the city's rotation list of architects approved on February 5th, 2013. Because K Plus Architects has conducted the survey and is knowledgeable on the direction the city wants to take with the Brownsville Resource Center, we are recommending that K Plus Architects is awarded for architectural services for the rehab of the main center for prospective agencies running programs out of the center. The base value for the contract is $66,000 with $5,000 of reimbursable expenses for a total of $71,000, and the funding for this project is from CDBG funding account 17-7556-7138.
Marina, we identified a purpose for this building?
Yes, and we have a meeting to finalize the scope on Friday, but it's for resources to focus on veterans and then also for just any gaps that we have here in the city of Brownsville, counseling service, et cetera. But we have a meeting on Friday to finalize the scope.
Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Marina.
Thank you.
Item 13, consideration and action to award a contract for architectural services for roof repairs at the Gonzalez Park, Olivera Park, and the Recreation Center.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and Commission. This is a consideration and action to award a contract for the architectural services for Gonzalez, Olivera, and the Recreation Center to Roberto Ruiz of Brownsville, Texas, in the amount of $36,800. Funding for this project is derived from account 89-512-941. The administration of the Parks Department concurs with this recommendation. Please see the attached memorandum from William Payne, Parks Operations Manager. Bookmark C, Parks Department recommendation.
Do I hear a motion?
Approved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 14.
Item 14, consideration and action to award a contract for purchase, delivery, and installation of a new oil tank storage unit for the Public Works Department.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, City Commissioners. Tonight we're requesting your approval to award a contract for the purchase, delivery, and installation of a new 7,000-gallon above-ground oil tank storage unit for the Public Works Department to Cooper Equipment of San Antonio, Texas, in the amount of $76,793.75. This procurement reflects the by board contracting price. This tank will serve as a replacement to the department's current tank, which has been rendered unusable by the manufacturer. The replacement tank stores asphalt emulsion oils. These materials are critical components to our streets paving maintenance program, providing the necessary binding for the aggregates during their paving, pothole patching, and chip sealing. Funding is in place. We request that you approve this.
Approved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much.
Want to adjourn? Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.